I was so excited to get through an entire book in 1 week that was over 300 pages long, and this is what happened, what book I read, and what I thought. Back here on the red lounge chair of contemplation and deep thought, have you ever said to yourself, I want to read more? And then you think, that's a great thought. Yeah, that's a good idea, Luke. But then nothing really happens. You don't end up reading more. Well, that happens almost every day of my life. And I always want to read wonderful books I hear about, some well-known, some less well-known, but I never give myself the time, and oftentimes I make the excuse, I don't have the time. I can't do this. I've got 2 kids, a wife, a full-time job, making YouTube videos. There's no time to read a book. Well, this week I set the challenge to myself, read a over 300 page book in 1 week, 7 days, and I did it. The book was called Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin, and it's a book on personal finance. So I'm on a journey to pay off all of my consumer, business, and education debt. So I'm learning more about the personal finance world and ideas. I loved the book. Thought it was an excellent book, so let's talk about it. Why this challenge? Some of you might think this doesn't seem too hard. It doesn't seem like an experiment worth doing. And I might have agreed with you, but I'll tell you one thing. It was actually very difficult to get through 300 pages in a single week, along with everything else I have to do in life. It wasn't always easy finding the time to read. In fact, I thought reading was going to look like this sometimes. But it ended up that because I work nights sort of, I kind of work half during the daytime here in Vietnam and then half during our nighttime. So I'm on US hours. And after I would finish, I would have about a 2-hour period before going to bed that I could really dedicate to the reading. And that allowed me to get most of the reading done when I needed to. And there was no distraction from the kids, so a lot different than I anticipated it would be. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't just a walk in the park, this one. But the reason that I wanted to do it was more than just the difficulty level and challenging myself. I wanted to get into a rhythm of proving that even in difficult times, I could read. Because I want to continue this one. I don't want to stop it here with this experiment. Now, I'm not going to read a book a week for the remainder of my life or this year or this month or whatever. I'm just going to challenge myself to continue to read like I was doing, even when there's time constraints and I've got a million other things I need to be doing, because the exercise of reading is a powerful one, and I know that already. I've had times in my life where I've read for consistent periods, weeks, months, even years at a time, constantly reading new books and new ideas. And I love what new ideas can give us and how they can transform and shape life. So I want to keep doing that. And so that's the reason why I set this goal, was to kind of act as a jump start, if you will, to get the engine moving, the reading engine moving in the right direction. And then once I'm moving in the right direction, I can keep that momentum up and keep reading. I don't want to give necessarily a comprehensive review of the book, but I do want to spend just a little bit of time talking about the book itself. So the book is based off of seminars that Vicki Robin and a guy named Joe Dominguez did. He's since passed. And the book was first written, I believe, back in 1992, but now it's updated for modern times, to account for new types of work, new websites, new social media sites, right? And kind of account for how those things interact with our lives. And so the updated version is fantastic. The thing I like most about it is that it doesn't spend so much time lecturing on what decisions to make financially in order to be financially independent. It spends a lot of time analyzing the psychology of why we choose the decisions we do around money, which is really why I love this book. And one of the core foundations of your money or your life is that it equates money to life energy. So we spend a pretty large portion of our lives working to get money. And so that means that that time that we're working, we're trading for money. And that time that we're working, that's our life energy. That's 8 hours a day of life that could have been lived somewhere else. We spent that time that could have been lived somewhere else to get that money. And so when we spend money, we're spending a portion of our life for whatever we want. And so what I love is an exercise that they promote is to ask yourself whenever you spend money, is it worth the amount of time I've given up to get this dollar in order to spend it to buy this thing that I want? And if your answer is, well, no, it's not worth that portion of my life that I just gave up, then okay, this thing is not so valuable to me. And so instead of looking at money as just a paper or a hold of value, directly associating it with our hours, limited hours and time and life on this earth, really gives another angle of looking at, well, shoot, did I need the newest car? Did I need the newest phone? Did I need, these drinks or fancy foods, etc., whatever the thing is? They call them Gazingas pens, which is hilarious. So I really love that aspect. Another thing I love about the book is that it gives 9 very practical steps to follow in order to get your financial situation in order. And they are quite time intensive and very thorough. So walking away, having done all the exercises, there should be in your mind a very clear and thorough understanding of your financial situation and the path that needs to be taken in order to get it back on track or get it to where you want it to be. Now, I didn't do all the exercises reading the book in a week because it would have taken a lot longer than a week to get through them all. But what they actually recommend is as you're reading the book, go back after you've read the book and do the exercises in your second read through. And then the third thing I really liked is that at the end of each chapter, there's a section called Money Talks, where they lay out a set of questions that you can have with others that are going through the same journey or with your spouse or loved one to have a way to talk about finances, because this can often be the biggest source of friction in a marriage or in a relationship. So I really love that and plan on having those conversations with my wife going forward. So big thumbs up for this book. I would show it to you, but I read it on my phone and I'm using my phone to record this video, so I can't show it to you. After the experiment has finished, I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, it was totally worth it. I achieved what I was going for, and I will be continuing to read every day going forward and looking forward to sharing some of that progress with you in the near future. Anyways, that's it for this video. I appreciate you watching till the end. There's an exciting one coming next week. I'm not going to say what it is because it's a secret. But tune in next week for that experiment. See you then.